Hey everyone, or whoever's here, not sure yet. What's going on, people? Oh, there are a couple of people here. Wow, that's new. What's going on, everyone? Just wanted to do another live stream. Got the time now. Got the setup. I'm probably gonna work on the Sam drawing a little bit here later, but for now, I just wanted to come hang out, talk horror, see who all's alive on this lovely Wednesday night. See who all's in the chat. I see a couple people talking. Dino, you did finally make a bearded live stream. That's awesome. Thanks for coming out. Oh, it's Sarah. Hey Sarah. Hope you're having a good night. Who else we got here? We got Blucka. Do I have all the icons but Michael? Okay, so here's the thing. I had 2 Michael Myers masks, 2 of the I want to see the Trick or Treat Studios, maybe Trick or Treat Studios. I had 2 of them. I had the Curse of Michael Myers mask and the Halloween 2018 mask. I don't know how, but in between packing up my previous apartment, and getting everything to my new apartment, I don't know where they are. So I do have Halloween stuff. I don't know where it is to put it up. And I don't actually have all the icons. I just honestly have 2. I've got Jason and I've got some Ghostface stuff. Most of the stuff is from Texas Frightmare 2 years ago. It's when I got to meet, obviously, Sydney, and I got to meet all of them. But yeah, that's why I don't have any Michael. I'm probably gonna, since I don't have any of the masks right now, probably gonna draw something to throw up there. But once Halloween time comes around, Party City usually stocks up pretty good, so I might go pick up a couple of the masks. And Trick or Treat Studios, I'm not sure if y'all are into the masks and collectibles and stuff, but kind of a side note, Trick or Treat Studios finally got the licensing rights to make the Rob Zombie Halloween masks. And I am so excited because I love the look of Rob Zombie's Halloween masks. Like the decay and everything. Love it. So I'm going to definitely be getting one of those. Hey, Katie. Thanks for stopping by. We got Sarah, Dino, Puppy. I think that's everyone that's here, unless I'm missing someone. Oh, Caden, Stu Train. That is correct. I got buddy Stu over there. Also, that Funko Pop right up there at the top. It's hard to see, but that's actually a custom Funko Pop I made of Stu. Yeah, definitely on the Stu train here. I also met him, but I didn't have room to put that photo up. But I'm grinning like a kid on Christmas when I got to meet Matthew Lillard. So, Blucka, I saw that. It's crazy. Rest in peace, Tina Turner. She was 83. She lived a long life, but thank you, Dino. I didn't make it insofar as like making the plastic, but I bought a just a plain white mask. I think it was probably Party City, and did the custom paint and everything. Then I got a red puck light attached to the back of it, so it shines up and gets a nice red glow. I don't know why. I think it's really cool, but thank you. Who else? We got Jason the Nice One. What's up, buddy? Thanks for coming to join the chat. Oh, we got. I am assuming it's JT from the Real Horror Syndicate. What's up, JT? I'm going to assume it's you, buddy. In my streaming beginning thumbnail, you had gotcha. Okay, so I wanted to put something together really quick for like a title sequence, an opening sequence, and I put that together. I didn't realize it till like the second time I used it. I'm like, oh my god, Michael's not there, and I feel really bad about it. But I still haven't made a new one. So yeah, Michael isn't there, and like Pinhead is, and there's no reason Pinhead should be included and not Michael. So yeah. Oh, Chrissy, this is my fiance, y'all. This is Chrissy. And okay. Okay. For y'all who don't understand, this is a meme, like a shorts or real audio that's everywhere or used to be, and she really liked it. I'm not gonna go into that, but just know, yeah. Rob Zombie, Michael, my fave. Not as grunting as stuff, but it doesn't bother me. So in the first Rob Zombie Halloween, he didn't grunt as much. I loved the first Rob Zombie Halloween. I thought Michael Myers was terrifying in that. So in the second one, he does it a lot more, and it is still a little scary. I didn't mind it as much as some people. I didn't like the way I think it was one of the optional endings for part 2. Like he actually like screamed "die" when he stabbed. Oh my god, I'm completely blanking on his name, and I feel Dr. Loomis. Yeah. Yeah, so I didn't like that, but I didn't mind the grunting as much as a lot of people. Let's see. Thomas Hewitt, new account. Oh, I didn't know you. Let's see here. Can I give you? Let's see. Can I add you as a mod? Can't add you as a mod from here, but I will add you as a mod, yes. Okay, yes. Definitely rip Tina. Okay. Love the look of the Rob Zombie one. Yeah, see, in part 2 it gets kind of crazy, and that's the thing. They licensed 3 different versions of it. They have the part 1 mask that's just a little bit degraded. They have the part 2 beginning mask, and then they have the part 3 or part 2 ending mask where like half of the face is missing. It's kind of crazy, and I'm really here for. I'm probably just gonna get the part 1. 1 second here, but I did really like the part 1, and I honestly didn't mind the part 2 beginning mask. But it did, when half the face is missing, it gets kind of crazy. I'm going to pull up the photos here so you can see them here, because they're kind of awesome, and they look great. And up until now, I've only seen one place that was selling them, and it was a guy who custom made, like he custom sculpted it and then made his own, but they were costing like, I think they were like $350, and I was like, whoa. And I was not about that life, so I did not. Well, let's be honest, I did consider getting them, but in the end I thought better of it, so I never got it. But they're, for some reason, I can't pull it up here, but they're pretty awesome masks. Let's see here. Okay. There are some questions coming in here. Yeah, I making a remake of a horror or any beloved movie is really risky because you have a very narrow line you have to walk because you can't stray too far from the original because people will say people get upset that it's too different. But you also can't do just a shot for shot remake because then people will say you didn't do anything original. So it's kind of really difficult. Um, so I think Rob Zombie did a good job with it. What I love about Rob Zombie 2 is that he isn't really fighting down in the sense that Joe Grizzly, the farmer, is the other big man, and the average person would be afraid of themselves. Sorry, I'm trying to understand this comment. Oh, gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, he's fighting people that are like equally his, for the most part, equally his stature. Joe Grizzly's a big guy. Ken Foray, yeah, he's a big guy too. A horror movie that I didn't like but had a really cool concept, a ton of potential. Um, man, I know there's one. Um, let's see. This is was a bad movie, but I thought it did have a a good concept, and that was Truth or Dare. I like the concept of the Truth or Dare movie, like agreeing to play, then getting stuck in it or you die. Um, I mean, kind of like a very very dark Jumanji if you think about it. But that and also, oh man, was it Countdown? Is that the one where you install an app on your phone and it tells you exactly how much time you have until you die, but then you actually die at the end of it, and then people try to like forego it by like going into the code. It wasn't very well executed, but the concept was really cool. So I'll say those two: not Trick or Treat, but Truth or Dare, and then Countdown, I believe it was. Rob Zombie 2 is still a bad movie. That is one thing. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I don't fully agree. I don't think it's a bad movie. I think it's not good, but I will say it, and I've said this before on other streams, but the Halloween 2 by Rob Zombie has one of my favorite cinematic shots of all time. In that field when the farmers come up and they've just kind of beat the crap out of Michael and they're walking back to the truck and you just see the headlights of the trucks like shining straight at the camera and Michael raises up and pulls the mask on, like, but you just kind of see the silhouette. One of my favorite cinematic shots of any movie ever. Why'd your channel get taken down, Thomas? That sucks, man. Hope it wasn't anything bad, but let's see here. Saw Babadook and Hereditary, so I'll say one of those, Jason Dyer. They both had cool concepts, but when they leaned into supernatural, I was done. I kind of agree with Babadook. Hereditary, man, I think Hereditary is great. Like, it also has one of the most terrifying shots when Toni Collette is sawing her neck off with that piano wire. Man, that is, and when she's beating her head, like she's crawling on the ceiling and beating her head on the door or on that hatch. Oh man, so creepy. I'm not a big fan of supernatural when it comes to slashers. Like, if you try to say a slasher is supernatural, it gets a little iffy for me. But a supernatural movie that's like supposed to be supernatural from the beginning, I do like that. Like the Conjuring movies, love all the Conjurings, all the nuns, Annabelles. I really enjoy those. So that kind of supernatural I'm really into. But if it's initially a slasher and then they lean into supernatural, then I get a little, I'm like, eh. Thomas, I was in a different stream and they were calling blasphemy that I fell asleep during those movies. So energy drinks up and watched them. Was so disappointed. Okay. Okay. I get what you're saying. And I mean, not everyone's going to like every movie. Some movies are huge, and um, other people don't like them. Like for me, I saw tons of people talking up. Uh, oh my gosh, I'm completely blanking on the movie now. Terrifier 2. I saw so many people talking up Terrifier 2 and how amazing it was and everything, and then I finally went and saw it, and I'm like, eh. So I definitely get what you're saying, Blecka. And it's if you didn't like it, you didn't like it. There are movies that, you know what, I'm gonna say something right now that are probably gonna get me the same kind of treatment there, Blecka. The Lord of the Rings movies. I've never gotten through any of them because I always fall asleep. I think they are so boring. There you go, Blecka. We're on the same page with some movies. I agree. Insidious was really good. I really like the Insidious series, and I'm so excited for the Red Door. They bringing the entire original family back, so this will be a true sequel to Part 2, because I think it's actually the 6th movie. Because there was no, it'll be the 5th movie because there's 1, 2, 3, then Insidious Last Key, I believe. Remake, redo the whole thing. What are you talking about, JT? Remake what? Are we talking? Michael? What are we talking about, JT? Hey, Denisha. Thanks for stopping by. Okay. Let's see here. If your friend asked you to pick out a horror movie to be the first one their kids saw, what would you suggest? Assume the kid is around 13 years old. Oh, that's interesting. Y'all, this is a good question. 13-year-old kid, what kind of horror would you introduce them to? Man, you gotta stay away from your big ones. Beetlejuice is good. I think it's just scary enough. Ernest Scared Stupid. I love Ernest Scared Stupid. I love the Ernest movies. I'm not even gonna lie. Ernest in the Army is one of my favorite things ever. So yeah. Oh man, this is a good question though. Y'all, I'm interested in what your answer to this question is. Whoa. Honestly, and here's the thing. It's gonna sound weird when I say it, but it might be Halloween, the original 1978 Halloween, because newer audiences with the stuff they're exposed to don't find the original Halloween as scary because it's more suspenseful. Like, for being honest, it's a very slow burn, so there's not a lot of gore, stuff like that, but it's very suspenseful. The music plays a huge part in Halloween's scariness. So I think I would probably go original Carpenter Halloween 78 for those reasons. The drone shot when he's walking in the field is mine. Yeah, it's a good one, man. Got taken down. Interesting. So I when the trailers were coming out, I posted some trailers and stuff. Or some shorts about the trailers, and I got copyright claims on it, but they didn't take anything down. I have removed them since then, so it's not. I guess I'll make sure everything is down just in case. That sucks, Thomas. I'm sorry. Jaws would be a good one, especially if you lived in like a landlocked state, because then it's not as scary because you're not going to the water. Jaws is great. Yeah, Jaws is a good one. I agree, Blecka. I think Terrifier 2 was one of those that I think I could edit it down, take 15, 20 minutes off of it, and it would be a much better movie. Jaws is a perfect movie. That is a bold statement. I think it's really, really good. It is. If it's not perfect, it's damn near perfect. I'll say that. I think Beetlejuice is a little common to be considered horror. think I saw it when I was maybe 10, and I don't watch Eric's. But yes, that's right. Chrissy, once again, my fiance, for anyone who doesn't know, she does not like horror. To a point where those Michael Myers masks I was talking about, I couldn't have them displayed because she didn't care to look at them at the last apartment. So, can understand Lord of the Rings. I was still watching Two Towers Final Battle and Return of the King, 10,000 Horses Riding Epic. Okay, so see, those are probably really epic scenes, and I'm assuming like third act, climaxes of the movie are probably really good. It just there's so much slow burn to get to that I can't do it. The original It with Tim Curry, that is I found Tim Curry terrifying. I don't know if I'd show. I mean, I guess that is about the age of the kids in the movie, so of the Losers Club. So that actually might not be a bad choice, Blucka. First horror for kids. No, JT. I just rewatched that the other day with on the members only live stream for Steven Craving Something Scary, and it no, that was too much. Oh, it is so unsettling. Speaking of Steven, everyone, Craving Something Scary, I'm sure you all know him. If you could just send positive vibes, healing vibes, prayers, whatever you're into, his way. Keep him in your thoughts. That'd be really helpful. I'm not going to say anything more than that, but just keep him in your thoughts. Give any healing vibes, positive thoughts, prayers, whatever you particularly believe in. If you could send those his way, I think it'd be really appreciated. Yeah, and see, Pluckett, that's what I'm saying. Like, and not only quality, but like I said before, the audiences nowadays they're not scared by the same things. Like, I think if you were to take, first of all, if you were to take like Saw, for instance, or Rob Zombie's Halloween and try to release those in like 1978, the MPAA would slap that with like an X rating. Like and people would probably pass out in the theater from those movies. Like, they are hardcore movies. But that's kind of like a little bit of expectation of the movies nowadays. Whereas back then in 70s, you didn't have that. Like, in the 70s, in like 1978, Halloween was terrifying for people. It's not so much anymore. So it is hard to understand what kids would be like, what level would be appropriate for them, what they could handle and stuff. Yeah, that's true. And like, there's some movies that don't, or that scale up well. I'll say it this way: they scale up well in terms of quality, like visual quality. But it gives stuff away. Like, if you watch the original Invisible Man in high def, now that it's been transferred to high def, you can see special effects stuff. You can see like the wires that arrows or bikes flow along when it's supposed to be him throwing it. You can see things like that. Even newer stuff like that, newer stuff than that. We watched, want to say it was on Destination Station's channel. We had a watch party for Sleepaway Camp, the original Sleepaway Camp, and there's a fake out in there where it's supposed to be one person doing the killing, but because of the upgrade to high def from modern screens, you can very clearly see who it actually is. So there's some things that don't transfer over well. How I would say 1978 Halloween. I don't know, man. Like I said, we just watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I think 2 days ago, and it holds up really well for being unsettling. Like, I wouldn't say like scary particularly, but just unsettling. You just feel a sense of, I don't even know how to explain it. It's not good. It is not good. Rob, he does. I think he does. His content is sometimes questionable. I give you that. He goes a little. I'll say that for the Halloween movies. Halloween movies are a different animal, and I guess I'll also agree when it came to the monsters. while I liked the Munsters, there was no point to it. He didn't really add anything to the Munsters, and the fact that it was kind of a prequel to the Munsters didn't help because we got some characters, but we didn't go anywhere. So I agree, Blecka. Terrifier 2 felt like the violence was so unnecessarily violent. I don't mind violence, but if it just comes right out the gate doing ridiculous stuff, it's off putting. I agree, Blecka, and they've said it multiple times. Damien Leone, the creator of it, said that's the point. That's what it's supposed to be. And fine, cool. You succeeded at what you were trying to do. I just don't find what you were trying to do a good movie. So that's it. You're exactly right, but that's what they were going for. And cool. That's not going to appeal to a lot of people. It did make money. It made a good amount of money for what it cost to make, but you're not going to reach a wide audience with that. You're not going to have the numbers of a Halloween. You're never going to have the numbers of a big franchise doing something like that because the story was almost non-existent. Now, he has said that they're going to focus a lot more on story for Terrifier 3, which is good, but I think they'll lose a little bit of audience if they focus too much on story and not enough on that violence. So they've kind of painted themselves into a corner with it, but I wasn't too big a fan of Terrifier 2. But like there are a lot of people who are. Like Jake, Killjoy Jake, absolutely loves it. He said it was probably the best movie of the year when it came out. Slow button stuff is hard to deal with. It makes me appreciate Clerks 2 speech where he talks about, oh my God. Dude, I laughed so hard. That I also love Kevin Smith. Just gonna throw it out there. Speaking of Clerks 3, man, did y'all see Clerks 3? It just, man, I had existential crisis after watching Clerks 3. It was such a good movie. It was one of my favorite Kevin Smith movies, but it broke me, y'all. It broke me. Jamie, thanks for stopping by, y'all. Your perfect movies, perfect horror movies. The Thing, great choice. Halloween 78, Texas Chainsaw Massacre OG, Jaws, and Phantasm. You know what, Jamie or Jason? That's a damn good list. I don't think many people could argue with that. All right, y'all. What are some other perfect movies y'all think? And here's the thing. And for any of y'all who don't know, one of my favorite directors is Quentin Tarantino. He's from just down the road from where I'm from. I love his movies. I think he's one of the best directors of all time. And he says that Texas Chainsaw Massacre is one of the few perfect movies as well. And I mean, that's coming from a multiple Oscar winner for directing and writing, because that's one thing about Quentin Tarantino is he's a writer-director. He's only directed one movie that wasn't his cut, like his written material. So I think that's really high praise. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre it really is a feat of filmmaking. And I talked about it more over on Steven's stream, but it had like 1/3 the budget that Halloween 78 had. And I'm going to be honest, y'all, so this might ruffle some feathers, but it's a scarier movie. Like the OG Texas Chainsaw Massacre is scarier than the OG Halloween. It just is to me. And it used like 1/3 of the budget. It's just crazy what they were able to do with that. Getting to foreign films a lot. Okay, so RRR, I heard was so good, and I've watched some like not critiques but reviews of it, and there's some they talk about some crazy stuff involving like flags and bridges. So I want to give it a chance, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. So what did you think though? You said it it made you laugh, laugh almost the entire movie, but did you like it? Like, was it good laugh, or was it like this is stupid laugh? I haven't watched much Tollywood or Bollywood. Would Last Train to Busan fall into one of those categories? Because that movie is crazy good. think of the original Exorcist came out now, people would still be scared. That is correct. So The Exorcist is an exception to those movies. It is still terrifying to people. And yeah, Jason's agreeing that one was it is still terrifying to people. Wow, I'm pretty behind on the chat. I didn't realize this. People, y'all are being so talkative tonight. I really appreciate it. Really good with atmosphere building, character building, specifically backwoods dirtbag. You are correct. So Rob Zombie is what he lovingly referred to as a hellbilly, not a hillbilly, but a hellbilly, which is like a Satanist hillbilly. But he does that really well. He really does. I think if you get someone else doing a script, like they write dialogue, script, everything, they write the screenplay, and then Rob Zombie directs it from there, I think you would have an amazing movie, because his dialogue is just it's just filthy. And I don't mean filthy like cuss words. I just mean filthy in general. So like I think if he were directing a movie that someone else with a more mainstream type of screenplay writing ability, if they wrote the screenplay, I think it would be a really, really good movie, because he does have atmosphere and tone down great. I felt like he needs a good scene-to-scene builder where the transitions feel natural and there is something to care about. I'm not sure what you're referring to specifically, Blucka, but you walked out of Terrifier 2. I don't do that very often. I actually got violent. Can't stand torture. Yeah. Yeah, I assume you're talking about the bedroom scene. That it went on forever. It was just so unnecessary. Like, he should have took, say, 10 minutes of that and devoted that to actual story and world building. Like, yeah, I know what you're talking about, Jason. It was just that. Yeah, Terrifier was just, I didn't walk out of it because I didn't see it in theaters, but it was, I completely understand what you're saying. Focus on super gory violence, and yeah, I don't mind the super gory violence if it serves a purpose. Like Saw is a pretty graphic, pretty gory, violent series, but it serves a purpose. Like the story is there to back it up. Whereas Art the Clown, there is no purpose other than to say, "Hey, look what he's doing." That's literally all it's there for. And it was, I think I don't think it's a great movie because of that. If there would have been more story to like back up why it's happening, then okay. But it wasn't for me. Thought Clerks 3 was going to be bad after Jay and Silent Bob with his dog. I didn't care very much for Jay and Silent Bob reboot. I think that's the one you're talking about. I didn't care very much for it. It was still good, but it wasn't the best. It didn't live up to Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, if I'm being honest. But yeah, when Clerks 3 came out, it was good. It was very, very good. That's all I'm going to say. Perfect movie. Total Recall, a little Arnie action. Okay, I assume you're meaning the first one and not the remake. With Colin Farrell was in the remake, I believe, wasn't it? Yo, man, Django Unchained is one of my favorite movies of all time. Everyone, and I mean everyone in that movie, works perfectly. It is so, so good. Oh man, Django. I've brought up I know I mainly do horror, but I've brought up several times like doing and Craving Something Scary over on Steven's channel. I've brought up several times doing a watch party of The Hateful Eight on his channel, because it's kind of a murder mystery kind of thing. It's a very violent, kind of a very violent whodunit. Yeah, there it is. Hateful Eight as well. Yeah, it is so good. I have to see Clerks 2 and 3. I love the first one. I saw Dogma. That was a real strange experience, but I do like Kevin Smith. Yeah, man. Clerks 2 and 3. They hit on some surprisingly real stuff. Like part 2, a little bit. In terms of life, just like growing old and like realization and stuff like that. Part 2, a little bit, but part 3, man, for real is it's funny because it's a Clerks movie. It's a Jay and Silent Bob Kevin Smith film, but it also gets very real and oh man. Shutter Island felt like a perfect film. That last line of Shutter Island from Leonardo DiCaprio, would you rather die a hero or live as a monster? That was very real. I don't even know how else to explain it. When that happened and you kind of had the realization that he knew what was going on. That was a lot. Little of the horror train, but if we're talking perfect movies, it doesn't get more perfect than Back to the Future. Back to the Future is so good. Oh man. I want to watch. Oh my god, why can't I remember his name? Marty McFly. I can't remember the actor's name. Oh, it's really gonna. Michael J. Fox. There we go. I just started typing who played, then I remembered Michael J. Fox. He's got a documentary out called Still about his Parkinson's, and it looks good. Okay, so y'all, Cinderella. So while my lovely fiance Chrissy is not into horror, she is very into Disney, and the live action Cinderella is her favorite Disney movie. OG technically, it is terrifying and creepy. Like I said, say it again here. I just watched it the other day on Craven's channel. It is so, and JT was there too, man. It is just unsettling. 78 Halloween isn't scary. Some most times as a kid, Michael Myers never scared me. Michael Myers didn't scare me until the Rob Zombie movies. When the Rob Zombie movies happened, Michael was moving faster. There was some more aggression in him because that's something you don't see a lot in the original ones. Is there's not much aggression there. It's just kind of, if for lack of a better word, a robotic kind of killing. Like that's you're programmed to do, and you're just going to do it. Whereas Michael Myers in Rob Zombie movies, there was aggression there. There was like a little bit of it, especially in the second one. There was some hatred in there. Overall, a great film, but the first hour or so is real hit or miss. Okay, I'm gonna give it a try, Blucka. I'll let you know what I think after I watch it. Action sequences are so over the top. It's amazing. Comparable film would be Kung Fu Hustle. Kung Fu Hustle. Oh my gosh. Haven't thought about that movie in forever. We talking over the top like Fast and the Furious, where Vin Diesel gets on the car wreck on one bridge and the car hits and he ends up flying over and catching Michelle Rodriguez and then landing on another bridge like that over the top. By the way, the Fast X movie made like, I think close to $400 million this past weekend, like its opening weekend, which is crazy. OG Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you feel that you do. The movie makes you want to take a shower and turn your AC on high. Absolute great movie on so many levels. Sounds, the sound design in that movie is a great point, Jason. The sound design in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre is just off the charts. It just feel you do, and you feel grimy, like you feel like you need to shower after that movie. Not as over the top as Kung Fu Hustle, but best Cinderella movie to me was Ever After with Drew Barrymore. Oh, okay. I don't know. Yeah, okay. She said she hasn't seen that one. I don't think I've seen that one either. Terrifier 2 opening scene and bedroom scene is when most of the theater cleaned out in Canada. I'm not surprised, man. The bedroom scene just goes on for so long, and it's so unnecessary, and, there's not much more I can say to it. Like I said, I've preached it all about Terrifier 2, but some people dug it. Like, I think it made several million dollars. I don't not like in the tens of millions, I don't think, but it made like 4 or $5 million, but it was only I think it only cost or am I thinking of a different movie? I might be confusing Terrifier 2 with Winnie the Pooh: Blood and Honey. Because I know Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey cost like less than 200,000 or something, and it made like $4 million, which is crazy. Not many people, but somewhere they did. I know they did somewhere because initially it only had like a week run and like a 1 week run, and then people started showing up and it actually had decent numbers in theaters, so they brought it back for like a full on theater run because Jake was talking. He had to drive. I think it was like an hour to even get to a theater that was showing it. So okay, perfect movies here: Shining, Jaws, Tombstone, Saw, Natural Born Killers. Okay, Tombstone. I cannot. I can't give you a bit of disagreement there. I love Tombstone. Tombstone and Natural Born Killers. I think was Natural Born Killers written by Quentin Tarantino. I don't remember, but Tombstone, Shining, obviously great. I have a little bit of a problem with that movie because of how terrible Shelley Duvall was treated by the director. Um, but other than that, it was a a great movie. I can't deny how good of a movie it was. Also, Natural Born Killers was not written by um, Quentin Tarantino, but yeah, Shining because of how Shelley Duvall was treated and everything, I have a little bit of a problem with it, but in terms of just the film itself, it was great. Um, Jaws, obviously great. Tombstone, great. Saw, the first Saw, okay, I'm gonna say before I even get to that, I love the entire Saw franchise, everything. I think it's, I've said it before, a big, beautiful horror soap opera. That's what it is. But the first one, when he stands up at the end, I'm like, oh my god, that's crazy. It's amazing. Love it. Um, okay, yeah. Well, this is probably Dino. This is probably going to be something we watch together. Feel like you're. That's fine, Blucka. I mean, I don't think it's generic, man. I think the perfect movies are there, and we might all say the same ones because we all know that they're perfect. This is 100% correct, babe. Princess Bride is a perfect movie. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Perfect movie. Can't disagree with it at all. I also did a cosplay as Fezzik once during school. It was like the week of school and the week of Halloween at college, which is where Chrissy and I met. Uh, and I did one day I did a cosplay of Fezzik. It was so fun. I hope she enjoys it too. I'm gonna watch it as well. So I want to see the Jay and Silent Bob with their beautiful son. Okay. I really didn't like the Terrifier, so I haven't seen the T2. I was confused, like, who is this clown? Why is he doing this? How is he supernatural? It's just gore, shock value, which is not my thing. That is 100% correct, Sarah. And you don't get any answers of who the clown is, why he's doing it, how is he supernatural. You don't get any of those answers. If there were some of those answers, I think it would be a better movie, but there's not. So Dino's agreeing with you. Blue Velvet, Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2, Mulholland Drive. Those are also perfect movies. Can't deny Kill Bill. I don't think I've seen Blue Velvet. And Mulholland Drive, I don't know that I've seen either. Frailty. Yo, Sarah, I forget, were you the one that suggested that to Steven for a watch party? Because Frailty is a sleeper. Like, people don't know about Frailty, and they should. It is so good. Armageddon, why you got to make me cry like that? That's all I'm saying about Armageddon. Just it makes me cry. Django Unchained, Hateful Eight are my favorite. Yeah, they're so good. Frailty, solid choice. Hateful Eight and Django had the theater so uncomfortable not knowing what was okay to laugh. And that's the thing. Like, it does make you uncomfortable, but some of it is supposed to make you uncomfortable because it is a very sensitive topic. And like and there's interviews with them. Some of them were uncomfortable making it, but they made it and it turned out to be amazing and Oscar nominated and everything. So Back to the Future is definitely a perfect film. It saddens me that they're trying to remake it. I hope they don't remake it. Although Michael J. Fox, I think they during an interview he was asked about possibly appearing in a remake of Back to the Future, and I think he said he wouldn't. Kind of saying, not in a negative way, but be like saying like that's their movie. I already did mine. That's theirs. I don't think that's the truth, though. I think if there is a Back to the Future remake, I don't think he wouldn't appear in it in some way. Like there will be a Michael J. Fox Easter egg in every Back to the Future movie, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but there it is, Michael J. Fox. Y'all get me. Fantasia, solid choice as well. Y'all, if you want to talk about Disney movies, you can throw those out there too. I don't have as vast of a knowledge of Disney movies, but Chrissy definitely does. Ever After with Drew Barrymore. We got a lot of love for Ever After. I'm definitely gonna have to watch this one now. Michael felt like he had so much pent up rage that he needed to get out, and sadly, he took it out on anyone he got. That's fair, Bluckett, and that's what made him scary to me. Because I feel like Halloween '78, Michael was not. I mean, he just wasn't as scary because I was just kind of like, you avoid him, and you're okay. Whereas Rob Zombie's Michael would like track you down. Did really enjoy 2015 Cinderella. Yeah, it is great. It is the costume design in that movie specifically was great. Fast and Furious Over the Top is another great. Yeah, good. That's so Blucka. That's true, and that's what a lot of people don't realize. That's why Fast and Furious is still going because it makes so much money in the Asian theaters, Asian markets. Not markets, but the Asian market, like that part of the world, that theater market. Yeah, it makes so much money consistently, like it does not miss. Of course, Shawshank Redemption is 10 out of 10. Highest. I need to double check now. It might not be now, but for years, Shawshank Redemption is the highest ranked movie on IMDb. Good Will Hunting. That is a absolute magical movie. And that Robin Williams, that last line, there's an interview where Matt Damon was talking about making the movie because he wasn't supposed to say that. He was apparently just supposed to read the note and kind of look out longingly, kind of happy because he took his thing. But like he kind of said that off the cuff, and Matt Damon was talking about being behind the camera with the director at the time and just kind of like knowing they had a hit on their hands. Good Will Hunting is also great. He also talks about their overuse of the F word. Friday Night at Freddy's is not CGI. There's a teaser trailer. There's not CGI in Five Nights at Freddy's. Okay. So they're going to be practical. That'd be really cool. I think they were mostly practical in Willy's Wonderland as well. But that's cool. Departed, the perfect. That is a really good one. I really hated seeing Leo go in that movie, but sorry, y'all. I just realized I might be kind of spoiling some of these movies. I hope y'all have seen them. I don't. Spoiler alert for all the movies that are in here, I guess. Few Good Men. You cannot argue with A Few Good Men. And one of the Aaron Sorkin, who wrote the original theater show and then adapted that into the movie, he did a great talk about writing villains and excuse me, he talked about writing Jack Nicholson's character in that movie, and it's so good. I highly suggest y'all listen to it, but it's really, really good. Yeah, Few Good Men you can't say anything about it. It's great. Huge Saw. It's a great. I can't wait for Saw X and see where it fits in there. Identity with Ray Liotta and Cusack is another perfect, and I say it loosely because there are cheesy moments that I can't argue against, but overall delivery, fate, twist. I'm trying to remember this movie, Blucka. I haven't seen it in a while, so if I have seen it, it's been a while. A lot of people are agreeing with you here. All right, let's see what Jason's got on his list. Shining, Empire Strikes Back, Jaws, Saw, Halloween, Princess Bride, Raiders. Some of your favorite. Okay, I can't argue with anything on that list. Yeah, I think there's definitely discussions to be had about each of those for being perfect movies. There really is. Some love for Identity here from Sarah and Jamie. Armageddon is so cheesy. It's good. It is, bro. When that Aerosmith comes on, though, just hits you. It hits you right there. You know. I love David Lynch. So he is so crazy and over the top. You know what? And this is probably something that I don't know many of y'all would ever watch, but when they had the Cleveland show on, which obviously was a spinoff from Family Guy, there was they all hung out at the same bar, and the bar, I think his name was Gus, but the bartender was David Lynch. Like he did the voice, but it was also like the animated character was animated of David Lynch. It was so crazy. And like I said, he did the voice too, but he was also just incredibly weird and eccentric like David Lynch. Frailty was such a huge surprise to me. It is so good. I love Frailty. I haven't watched it in forever. I got to watch it now. John Wick 1 is a perfect action film. You know what? I will agree with that. Perfect action film, and the motive, the reason, chef's kiss. He goes going on a rampage for someone taking out your puppy. Oh yeah. Totally behind it. Best motive of all time. Back to the Future remake is rumored to be in talks. Tom Holland is Marty and RTJ is Doc Brown. Okay, for Robert Downey Jr. is not old enough to be Doc Brown. Tom Holland, I guess I can see, but I'm kind of Tom Holland out right now, if I'm being honest. Let's give it a while. Shawshank is a classic, and it holds up. It holds up. There's so much good in that movie. When did I realize I loved horror films? Oh man, it was probably right after I watched, like, because I kind of did a marathon the first time I ever really got to watch any of the big horror films. I did a marathon of I want to say it was Nightmare, the original Nightmare on Elm Street, Child's Play, and Friday the 13th, and just really, really enjoyed those. Of course, it scared me to death, but I really liked them. So it's probably early teens, maybe 12 or so. Nightcrawler with Jake Gyllenhaal, man, that movie was slept on too. He was creepy as all get out in that movie. And when he's talking to Rene Russo, oh, bro, it was so weird. Shawshank, Green Mile, Dolores Claiborne, three of my favorites. I don't think I've seen Dolores Claiborne, but Shawshank and Green Mile, man, Michael Clark Duncan. Another one hits you right there. When he's in the chair, he said, "Please don't put that thing on my head. I was scared of the dark." Oh, that'll get you. Source Code is on. I know I've not seen Source Code. Source Code. It makes you feel like an artsy fartsy. I don't know what you mean by that, but it is great. Maverick. We talking Mel Gibson Maverick? Oh, perfect sequel. I should have read. Okay. Maverick was the perfect sequel to Top Gun. And I don't know, I think it just kind of came out at the perfect time. And the one thing I will give it is the dedication of that filmmaking team is kind of unrivaled. Like what they had to do, like they literally had to engineer new camera techniques and mounts to get shots inside of like actual jets. It was crazy what they did to get some of those shots. So I will Maverick was really good. Rumble in the Bronx. Man, I have not watched Rumble in the Bronx in forever. Is that the one with like the big hovercraft? Oh, I'll have to look it up. Like a man, like you're giving me a little stroll down memory lane here. Armageddon was when Steven Tyler found out Liv was his daughter, right? I I don't know. I assumed he knew from the beginning. I don't know if this is you're trolling or something, Blucka, but I honestly thought he knew from the beginning. Um, Top Gun Maverick final 20-30 minutes is straight rip from Star Wars New Hope. Is it? I haven't compared the two, but now that I think about it, I would need to watch them both again. But it definitely could be. The thing about Top Gun Maverick is that I think I think a lot of people expected the movie to be over at like a certain point, and I did as well. But then you get a whole nother act almost. Okay, now okay, Black. I'm gonna have to watch them because I did not compare the two, obviously, because I didn't think they were similar, but I'll have to look. I'll have to look at that. The Last Samurai. I haven't watched that one in years. I know obviously there's controversy about samurai white guy Tom Cruise, but don't apologize for being late, Scott. We're just having a movie chat, not even particular horror. We're talking about a lot of stuff here. Don't worry about being late, man. I'm probably gonna go for about maybe another 30 minutes or so, 35 minutes. I do have to work tonight, so I'll have to jump off at some point to log on to that. But yeah, we're just talking about movies, man. We're talking specifically about perfect movies. If you have any opinions on what do you think a perfect movie is, artsy fartsy because Green Mile was specifically made to get them Academy Awards, but I loved it. Hey man, there's some Oscar bait movies out there, and some of them deserve it. I do think that's one of my problems with Leonardo DiCaprio, and I'd like to know what y'all think about this. I I never really see Leonardo DiCaprio have fun, if that makes sense. Like I feel like every role he takes is a role he thinks he could get an Oscar for playing. I don't ever see him take anything where, like Tom Cruise, for instance, when he played Tom Cruise, also a very good actor, but like he played Les Grossman in Tropic Thunder, or he played it's a musical, but they made it into a movie, but I can't remember what. But he plays like an aged drunk rock and roll star in that one, and he looks like he has fun with it. But Leonardo DiCaprio doesn't look like he ever has fun. Like he just takes roles to win awards. And I'm like, eh. So I don't think that's one of my problems with him. I'd love to see him in like a joking role where he just has fun or acts crazy or something. But uh yeah. Yeah, okay, so the hovercraft is in Rumble in the Bronx. Okay, I remember it. I very vividly remember it running over a guy, I think on a golf course, driving on land, and it like I guess like cuts all of his clothes off and like skins him up as it goes over him. Very vividly remember that. Uh, oh, I think if they do a live action He-Man Masters of the Universe movie, I can see Chris. Really, you don't think he would need to be a little bit more jacked to play He-Man? You know who I want to see as He-Man? Terry Crews. I think he dressed as He-Man on one of the episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and I'm like, you know what? It works. It works for me. I think if they remake Cujo instead of using Saint Bernard to kill a dog, I think they should have a Labrador as a killer dog because they can show people the killer side of a Labrador. Interesting. Those movies are hard for me because I don't like seeing animals get hurt. I don't like it. So those ones are hard. But Yeah, that is rough because I think it when those things happen, there maybe there maybe does some times where certain people really do take that to be like, oh well, that means these animals have an aggressive side and stuff. Like there's a ton of places that still have like restrictions on what kind of dogs you can own because of aggressiveness and stuff, and it's kind of crazy to me, but that'd be interesting. I love Labradors. I think they're adorable. So Austin Powers and Austin Powers 3, right? What what are you talking about, Bluck? Are you saying that's a perfect movie? Austin Powers 3 was Gold member, right? I think the Austin Powers 3 was Gold member. Love to see a remake of Free Willy with Bendy Irwin. That's Crocodile Hunter's daughter, right? It did, Bluck. Leo got to lean into the comedy a bit. It did, but like that was the script, right? Like I don't think it was a fun part necessarily. I don't think he had I don't it wasn't a fun role, if that makes sense. It was a crazy role, but I don't think it was a fun role. Like I don't think he does anything that once again and even that role, I think he was nominated for an Oscar for that role, which is I mean, he did great in it. I'm not taking anything away from his abilities. He is 100% one of the best actors of our generation. But it feels like he only does movies to gain awards. So Catch Me If You Can about Frank Abagnale. Yes, that is a great one too. And that guy, the real guy, is very interesting. Doesn't look like Leo at all, or rather, Leo doesn't look like him at all. But it's kind of crazy. And the story, when you're watching the movie, I feel like the story is kind of like you're like, oh, that can't be true, but then it kind of is. Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz are semi-perfect. Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz it's been a hot minute since I've watched that, but I don't know if I would call those two. Shaun of the Dead is really, really good. Okay. Lee as from What's Eating Gilbert Grape. And yeah, yeah. I think he got some like I want to say he got some awards for playing Arnie as well. And that was such a good movie with him and Johnny Depp. Also looked over a lot. Uh, oh, Tom Cruise. So exactly like that, Blucka. Exactly like that. He just takes things that are fun, like on top of doing really serious Oscar worthy performances. And I don't see Leonardo DiCaprio doing that. So you know about how they did Free Willy in '93, how they did capture the scene at the start of the movie. Do people go far for that? Because I think Make Free Willy is a good idea. I'm gonna be honest, man. I don't think I've seen Free Willy in like maybe 20 years. So I don't. It's been so long. I know that was my brother's. My brother Joseph really enjoyed that movie. Dark Knight is one of the closest perfect superhero movies we have. I agree with that. Fight Club also perfect. Modern audience views. Modern audience viewer overly rating everything now. I need to get back to my negative ways. Uh, I don't think they're negative. I think they can critical would be what I think is a good word. Saving Private Ryan is amazing. One of it's a very realistic war movie. Very realistic. It's great. Do another Batman movie with Joker. I could see Leonardo. I heard that they wanted Leo to play Joker, but I also heard Ryan Gosling. And I got to be honest, I wouldn't hate Ryan Gosling as a Joker. Johnny Depp could also do it well. Yeah, I think either of those could do it really well. Blucka Prestige is amazing. Prestige is good. There's so many movies here that are being brought up that are just that are just kind of overlooked, a little bit under the radar and stuff. So I agree. I agree. Prestige was so good. Leo. Okay, that was it. Leo was supposed to play the Riddler. That's. I remember him being attached in some way to a Batman film. So I did. I thought it was a Joker, but now that I realize it was it was Ryan Gosling. They definitely wanted Ryan Gosling to um play the Joker for something, but I don't remember if it was a specific movie, what movie it was, what movie it was. So script got scrapped, and Batman you saw in 2022 is literally that script, huh? With Robert Pattinson, because I gotta be honest, I loved Robert Pattinson as Batman. I think a lot of people might have had an issue with it. I didn't. I really, really enjoyed it. So, all right, y'all. Oh yeah, American History X. Okay, Silence of the Lambs, one of the only horror movies to win the Big Five. So, Big Five Oscars. So, can't dispute it. That one of the best horror movies of all time. American History X might be country. It that movie it definitely is controversial, but it is so good. Um, it has such a good lesson. It's controversial, but the lesson it teaches is very necessary for people, and it's just amazing. You're absolutely right, Blanca. Oh, camera went out of focus here. There we go. All right, y'all. I think I might be wrapping up here in the next 3 or 4 minutes. Going to be going to get ready for work here. So, any final comments, questions, or concerns? Go ahead and post those in the chat. Batman film, basically Dark Knight with Riddler. Yeah, it kind of was. I enjoyed the idea of a younger Batman, younger in the sense of he hasn't been Batman as long. I really enjoyed that. Can't even match club scene and car chase scenes almost identical timestamps. I didn't know that, man. I need to watch it again. I've watched it probably 3 or 4 times, but it's been a minute since I've watched it. Marvel and DC crossover, man, a lot of people would have to come together to make that work. But now that James Gunn is kind of in charge a little bit, has some power over at DC, I don't think it's impossible. I don't think it's impossible for it to happen now that James Gunn is in charge over there, because he's worked obviously with Marvel on at least 3 projects. He did all 3 Guardians. I think it would be great. I think it would be great to see. You'd have to be very selective with who comes together, because you could probably see that some stuff is ripoffs of other stuff. But I tell you what, I would really dig seeing like an experienced armored Batman with Tony Stark, because they're very similar characters. Billionaire philanthropists kind of become a superhero to avenge people. Like they're very similar, and I think I'd be totally cool seeing Batman and Iron Man going together to fight off some sort of crime. And that's the thing, with the villains have to come together too, because some of the villains would be crazy, like aliens coming down to although I guess we did have aliens in Justice League, so I can't really say that. But anyways, it would be a great movie, Scott. And like I said, with James Gunn over at DC now, it's possible, because James Gunn is now writing Superman Legacy, shooting in January, I believe. Both. Okay, this is talking about. I'll have to rewatch them, man. It's been a while since I've watched either of them. Nerd like that, and I know everything these guys style Jack from. Well, one thing I'll say is like, and this is a complaint some people give about Quentin Tarantino, is he takes a lot of references and scenes and stuff from other movies, and he has a lot of influences and stuff like that. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that if you do it in a creative way. Thanks for streaming tonight. You're very welcome. Thanks for coming to hang out, y'all. It's been fun. I want to start trying to do these at least once a week. Probably going to put together a watch party of something, see if I get some guests on, figure out what that is, and probably take a vote on it. Probably take a vote on some horror movies to do a watch party for, and put one together. But other than that, I'm going to be trying to do a stream at least once a week. So thanks for streaming. Hey, thank you for the discussion, man. You brought a lot of movies from my past back into my brain that I haven't thought about. Like Rumble in the Bronx, I'm probably going to watch tonight. I'm not going to lie. DC will do a Mortal Kombat versus DC. That'd be really cool. I really enjoyed the new Mortal Kombat movie. Really enjoyed it. A couple video games themed after that. Okay. Love to see Free Willy one day from the same story from the first movie form. Instead of a boy playing a part of Jesse, would have a girl playing a part. That's cool, man. Like I said, I haven't watched Free Willy in forever, at least 20 years. So I'll have to give it a watch, Scott. But I mean, with the way they're remaking stuff, I don't think it's impossible. The only problem I could see is filming for stuff like that. They'd have to get creative with CGI because there's a lot of negativity on like SeaWorld and stuff like that, captivity for animals. So it'd be a little difficult, but if they could do it, I'd be more than happy to watch it. And you gotta love the Irwin family. If they did bring Bindi Irwin in, I think it'd be great. This was fun, Sarah. Thank you so much for the conversation. Thank you everyone for the conversation. Thank you for stopping by if you're in the live chat, and anyone watching the replay. I'm gonna, like I said, gonna jump off here. Have a good night and have a safe rest of your week, y'all. I love you.